Hey everyone, welcome back to the special series of College Dunia where we take interviews of all those students who have converted India's top B schools. First of all, let's talk about top B schools. Of course, SP Jain is one of the best top B schools in the country. Let's talk about Gokul. Gokul, welcome to the series, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, so before we move on, Gokul, how's your YouTube thing going? Let's discuss that.
It's going great. It's going great. The only problem is that I don't get much time for editing and posting videos regularly.
Right.
So that's the only thing. But apart from that, it's going nice. I'm getting support from everywhere, and people are liking it. So I'm glad.
Right. So Gokul, first of all, SP Jain is the best school in my opinion. Okay, this is my personal opinion. But we all know that how hectic and how rigorous the schedule of any B school can be, right? So how are you managing that along with your side hustle, so to say?
So currently we are, I am in my term 4. So people who actually know SPJIMR's curriculum know that term 4 is actually the really hectic term in our entire B school journey. So this is our specialization term. So first year it will be common for everyone, but once you get into second year, you have the specialization term. And I am from the marketing specialization. So coming to the marketing specialization, we do have a lot of live projects, a lot of classes. So it will be like a jam-packed schedule from 9 to 5 throughout. And after that, obviously, we have extracurricular activities also lined up. So it's pretty much hectic. And we also have our autumn internships coming up. So it's kind of pretty hectic these days.
Right. So, Gokul, you just mentioned about the autumn internship, right? So, what is the difference between the autumn and summer internship? Because typically a B school only offers the summer internship process, right? So, what is the thing about autumn internship?
So, yeah, SPJIMR is kind of distinct in this autumn internship process. I think if I'm not wrong, SPJIMR is the only B school that is having an autumn internship process right now. So, this is an ideology that was coming from the initial days. So, our honorary dean, Mr. Our honorary dean, Manishal Srikanth sir. So he proposed this particular initiative, that is that when you are actually going to a corporate internship, unlike other B schools where people are just join their B schools into 1 or 2 months into their B school journey, and they will directly join to the corporate world without any further addition to their knowledge in terms of the B school journey. But if you give them an opportunity to study on your master specialization and then go into a corporate career, our methodology felt that it will add more value to the organization and also add value to the projects that we are doing. So that's why we are having an autumn internship rather than summer internship. But at the same time, while every other B schools are going for a corporate internship period, we do have a rural internship. So it's a mandatory internship program where we have to go to a rural place, work with an NGO in some specific projects, and we have to come up with a solution. So in that terms also, SPJIMR is unique.
Yeah. So Gokul, you mentioned about the autumn internship, right? So what is the duration, like from which month to which month it is conducted, basically?
So the placements, I can't actually reveal the actual dates. Even we don't know the actual dates, but it will be sometime after the term 4. So once our term 4 gets over, the autumn internship cycle will be approaching, and after that the actual internship will be in the months of September and October.
Got it. September to October, right? So this is the thing, Gokul. Typically, any B school, let's say most of 95% of the Indian B schools, they offer the summer internship, which is typically from April to June, right? It oscillates from April to June or May to June or something like that. So the thing is that the companies have this perspective that you have to hire interns in these months only, and they are not that active. They may not be that active in September or October, let's say. So first of all, of course, I know that SP Jain has a big brand name, right? But there's also this thing about availability of interns, that whether the companies need interns during that period or not. So how does SP Jain tackle that thing?
So as you rightly mentioned, the SPJIMR brand helps a lot in this particular process because people in the industry actually knows SPJIMR and their unique autumn process. So whenever they plan their internship process or the plan for their upcoming interns, they do keep in mind that there's a process that is going to happen. And eventually, up till now, we haven't faced any issues as such in terms of getting placed. And we have a great placement committee team also here. But having said that, it totally depends upon the recruiter, like what they have in their mind and their market scenarios. So I can't comment on that. So it's all like a cumulative process. But as far as this particular year concerned, we don't have a particular clue about what's going to happen. But till the last year, it has been going on smoothly. So I hope like this year also, it won't be having any issues.
Right. So also, Gokul, this thing that in a typical B school, right, the final placements happen in October. Let's say I'm Ahmedabad, they are done with their placements in the month of November only or December, right? Even so, while the other B schools are conducting their final placements, you are in your autumn internship, right? So does the thing hamper your process also?
Actually, we have a specific set of selection procedures. So it's also understood in the industry that we are having our autumn internship from September to October. And once we come back from our autumn internship, we'll have our term 5 and also term 6 going on. And after that, in between term 6 only, we'll have a final placement. It will be usually conducted during the month of January. So it's like, I think since SPJIMR is a non-B school in the country, I think that is what is helping us. Again, reiterating, till now we haven't faced any issues. So yeah, I'm hoping that will be the same this year also.
So you're basically saying that SP Jain has been in this industry is because of the name it has established over the years, and basically, can we say that it can do whatever he wants to, something like that?
No, that is out of our hand, because as I said, it's the market, it's the people. We never know. When the COVID hit, a lot of things changed. So it is not like that. But what I'm saying is that SPJIMR is actually a good college, because what helps us is the alumni base that we are having, because it's a all B school, and we have that kind of an alumni group which is really supportive. And our methodology or pedagogy of teaching is also something that is unique from other schools. So in the industry perspective also, they feel that there is something special with SPJIMR. I think that is something that is helping us out.
Right. So being special is the scenario, right? So let's talk about the rural immersion program, Gokul. So how does the recruitment happens for that?
So it's a mandatory course. So it's not like you can opt out or something. It's a mandatory course which is having 3 credits in our curriculum, and this is one subject is having the most credits, like 3 credits. We hardly find any other course with 3 credits. So this is a mandatory program, and how it works is that we can opt for a specific area where we want to work, and we can choose in a priority basis on what all projects can we work on, and on the basis of that we will get random allocation. So there is a particular group, or there's a particular section that handles this. This is called DOCC, Development of Corporate Citizenship. So we have a team, we have a committee also, and we have a in-house team at SPJIMR which handles that. So they will assign us different locations with different NGO, but they will keep this in mind that the location that we actually get is at least 400 to 500 kilometers away from our hometown, so that we can explore new places and come up with a unique solution. So that's how the procedure is.
So no official recruitment happens, rather allocation happens, right?
Right. So because the DOCC itself have a lot of tie-up with around 100 plus NGOs in the country, so they can easily form up this particular thing, and it's an in-house thing that is going to happen.
Right. So Gokul, you also mentioned about the specialization, right? So from term 4, the specialization happens. But what SPJIMR does is that they ask your specialization in your form itself during your admissions, right? So let's say I am currently interested in finance, right? I want to get in a typical hardcore finance role, but after being in the B school for let's say 1 year, I got interested into, let's say, marketing. So is there a way that I could switch my specialization from finance to marketing, or I have to stick to the finance?
So yeah, coming to this particular question, why SPJIMR is doing is because SPJIMR is a profile-based B school. So even if you go through the selection process, we have a profile-based selection process and also a score come profile-based. It's not like if you have a good score, you get the shortlist. There also you have to align with the proper profile. So what it does is that they will assess people who are actually having that kind of a profile which actually fits into different specialization. That's why they are asking your specialization upfront. And if you focus on the batch itself, like there are pressures and also some people with less than 1 year of work in finance and marketing specialization, but you won't find people hardly without any work ex in IIM specialization and also op specialization, because here people feel that if you want to excel in that particular field and if you want to be a leader in this particular group, it comes with a certain set of work ex, and it will be better if you have that. So that's why we have the specialization selection procedure, which is aligning with our profile based selection. Now coming to your specific question, actually people won't prefer that because it's a fixed lot, like 60 each in each specialization, and we also have a general course now, we call it BM. So there's another course also right now came up. So apart from that, the 4 specialization are there with 60 seats each. So it will be hard if a lot of people decide to move from finance to marketing, because it will make an imbalance. However, there's an option there after the first year to switch between the specializations, but it will come up with a lot of criteria. So if you are fulfilling that particular criteria and you are able to convince the faculty that even if you are changing the spec, you have the right reasons to back that, and also you can excel in your future, then maybe they will give you a chance.
So you have to present your case to the faculties, right?
Right. So there's a certain guidelines. If you are fulfilling that guidelines, there will be some multiple exchanges between or interviews with the faculty, and if they feel like you are eligible for that, they may consider your request.
Perfect. So Gokul, also you mentioned about the profile-based selection. So SP Jain has this criteria that if you have a good profile and your CAT cutoff is above 85 percentile, you can sit for the profile-based calls, right? But if you don't have a good profile, you have to sit for the 99% CAT, 98 or 99% of CAT cutoff, right? So my point is that, first of all, my question is, how true is it that, let's say I have a good profile, right, and I scored just 85 percentile in CAT. Will I be able to get into SP Jain, assuming that my interviews and everything goes very well, right? My second question is that whether freshers having CAT percentile of 85 get into SP Jain, and what kind of profile is expected of them?
So if you ask me, like when the SPJIMR shortlist are rolled out, at that time even the CAT result won't be out.
Right.
So even before you get to know your percentiles, SPJIMR will roll out their profile-based score. So I was a profile-based candidate. So even before the CAT results were out, I got my shortlist. But having said that, if you got your shortlist, you have to meet the eligibility criteria. So once the CAT results are out, you have to have 85 percentile overall and 75 percentile each in each section. And if you are qualifying that, you are eligible for the interview process, you can attend the interview. And I can say from my experience that there are people who are from 85 to 90 range also converted SPJIMR with a good profile and also good interview experience. So it's very much possible. Now, for the second question, in terms of freshers, actually, I don't know about a lot of freshers coming in this bracket. But there are people who got in terms of like 88, 89 percentile. But if you have a good profile. Now, coming into the good profile part, even we don't know like what all parameters are being assessed by the admissions committee. But the overall view is that you should be good in your academics. Not just that you score like 99 percentage in 12th, but again 6 CGPA in the graduation. It's not like that. You have to have a consistent performance in terms of ACAT, and especially freshers, you have to show something in terms of extracurriculars also, either some national level competitions, international level competition, you have achieved this much prize. So you have to convince the faculty or the admission team that you bring some versatility into the picture, and also you are someone who have seen the highest most level of competition, so that you can compete with the WorkX people also.
Right.
But it's another different matter when it comes to WorkX people. If you have a good WorkX in a good organization, that itself builds your profile. So for them, maybe less extracurricular activities can be submitted. But for a fresher, it's crucial that you have to be good in your academics and your extracurriculars.
Right. So this is the thing now, that freshers and students in general equate profile with WorkX, but that may not be the case every time, right? So talking about the profile only, Gokul, so for a typical engineer, right, what is a good profile?
So again, that's a vague area, like even we are not sure, but I will I will base it up with my experience. So I'm also coming into that category. I'm a mechanical engineer.
Right.
But I did had some around 20 months of work ex in two organizations. One being in a marketing associate role, and it was in a startup. And later on, I served like around 4 months in a educational institution also. So I have this 20 months work ex with me, and on top of that, I have a diverse profile. If you want to ask me, like I have a Rashtrapati award with me as part of Bharat Scout and Teams, and also I've been a state level theatre artist, and also I was into sports. I was a district player, and I was a vice captain of my college cricket team. So in terms of extracurricular, also my profile was really good. And academia, I got 90 above in both 10th and 12th, and also around 8 CGPA above in my UG.
Right.
So in terms of that, if you ask me, in my perspective, acad should be like 998 or something, if not more than that. And then in extracurriculars, you have to have some point of differentiation from others. Maybe it's a national conference, or maybe submitting a research paper. I'm talking at the point of view of an engineer, because you asked about an engineer. So if you are submitting a research paper, or if you are participating in a national level technical symposium or something, so that will help your profile.
Right. So let's talk about a non-engineer, Gokul. So what is a good profile for a non-engineer?
So again, the extracurriculars will be the same. So you have to show that you have been excelling. And at one point I missed out was that of PORs, the positions of responsibilities. So if during your college or doing even in your workplace, even if you're non-engineer, you're working, you have had a lot of achievements in your workplace. And also if you had key portion of responsibility, like you headed your national level technical fest or national level business symposium. So all these kind of things can add value to your profile. So apart from that, it's kind of similar with respect to engineers and non-engineers.
Right. So what is the basically what is the 50% profile like at SP Jain? Is it more work-ex dominated, or is it more fresher dominated? Could you please tell us?
It's more on the work-ex front, because as I mentioned, the two specialization, which is IM and operations, is more kind of a specialized for work-ex people. But if you take into consideration the overall batch, around 30% freshers are also there. So in terms of the overall atmosphere, freshers do take a lot of part in our in our composition. But yeah, after that, it's like if you take the average work-ex also, it's coming around 2 to 2.5 years of work-ex.
Right. So Gokul, also this thing that in terms of many categories, whether it is infrastructure, whether it is research, whether it is placements, right? So SP Jain ranks in the top 5 or arguably top 5, but let's say even in top 10 of the Indian B school ecosystem, right? But when you see the NIRF or official rankings, SP Jain is found nowhere. But when it comes to the placements, SP Jain is right there up with XLRI and IIM. Why is it that?
So NIRF rankings is something, a different ball game altogether. We used to speak about this a lot when we used to we were just entering the B school. So we had a chat regarding this with our faculty also. So one thing that NRF is, if you observe NRF carefully, you can find a lot of B schools who are not even in the picture in the other rankings coming into NRF. But as far as we have understood, the methodology of assessing that particular ranking is totally different from what we actually have in our practical work. So NRF has a lot of focus on research paper submission, or a lot of focus on the research part of things in terms of curriculum and stuff. But in terms of an experience part, the placement, I think there's hardly any points given for that ranking metric system for placements or the industry exposure, the diversity in the batch. So these kind of metrics are missing in that particular system, which I think which is very much which is attractive to actual B school ecosystem, but is lacking in the rankings. So that is what we have found, and but we are also trying, to push in terms of research and such. But again, having said that, we can't change our ideology just to rank top in our NIRF rankings, right? So people knows about B school, so eventually that will help us in the long run. So that's the thing.
Right. So Gokul, since you are in SP Jain, what are the things that SP Jain needs to work upon
Honestly, I'm having a great time here with the facilities and all the opportunities, be it placements, be it corporate engagements, be it the curriculum. It's really good. So I can hardly find any pain points here. But again, having said that, in terms of the research thing, that is something that SPJ now started focusing on a priority basis. So we are now very much on to the research part of things. Our faculties are also taking it very seriously. It's not like we have been not doing this for the past, but since this is the need of the hour, we are even students, even faculty are clubbing with students to participate in research papers and stuff. So that is something that SPJIMR is working on, and also we have a new set of ideologies. Also, we are moving on to a specific motto of wise innovation, where we can actually modify our maybe the core also in such a direction. So it's a thing in process. Other than that, I don't have any complaints with the institute. I'm totally happy.
Right. Okay. So Gokul, there's also this thing that let's say I am going to attempt my CAT 2024. Let's say I am 1 year before, right? So my target college is SP Jain, but I may not have very good profile. Like let's say I have a 998 profile in my graduation, because this is something that I can't change, right? But I'm not sure about the CAT percentile. So in what ways can I actually improve my profile to get the shortlist for SP Jain?
So in terms of building your profile, so first thing, if you feel like you don't have a good profile, you have to focus a lot on your CAT. So if you are not getting a good percentile in CAT, obviously you are out of that particular thing. So your first priority should be CAT. But what I would suggest is that if you don't have a good profile, again, if you feel like you don't have a good profile, one that you can do is that if you are actually that much interested in joining SPJIMR, you can maybe work on a specific period in a particular domain. So if you are interested in marketing visualization, it's better to explore some opportunities in marketing, be it some internships or be it some proper work road. You can work for some time so that you can build your profile in that way. So if you show the admission committee that you are coming up with a set of skills in terms of this specialization, this can maybe eventually can balance out the shortcomings that you have in your profile. Apart from that, you have to focus on your CAT, otherwise there is very feeble chances.
Right. So Gokul, also this thing that B schools usually don't recognize internships as official work ex, right? But let's say SP Jain for the improvement of profile, right? Will SP Jain consider internships as a profile improvement thing, or will they just ignore it like other B schools do for work ex?
No, definitely. Even if you're doing an internship, especially this comes to play. I forgot to mention this in the freshers section. This is a really crucial part for freshers. So the internship that they are doing, that is aligning with the profile, that is very much appealing for the admission committee here. So it's totally in the consideration. If you have a relevant internship period, that itself that is adding you to your profile. But again, like you mentioned, it won't be calculated as a proper work ex, however. But again, if you are, that will eventually be calculated as something that will boost your profile.
Right. So it basically gives you a fighting chance, so to say. So let's talk about global and non-global program that SP Jain offers, right? So could you please tell us about that?
So yeah, in terms of the PGDM program, in the curriculum itself, we have, apart from other B schools have offering the index program, the international exchange, we do have another program called Global Fast Track, which is again a mandatory program where the entire batch will spend almost 1 month in a part of the school abroad. So right now our seniors just went to SPJIMR school in Barcelona, spent 1 month over there and came back. So this is all on top of the index program that's being offered here. And now that is with respect to the PGDM program. Apart from that, we do have a program called GMP, the Global Management Program, where you will spend 6 months at SPJIMR Mumbai and 6 months in a part 2 school either in US or in Europe. So that is also a accelerated management program where 6 months you will get to understand the Indian ecosystem and the other 6 months you will get an exposure of the international exposure.
Right. So Gokul, there's also this thing that so first of all, let's talk about the 1 month when you are
Right. GFT.
GFT, right, to Barcelona. So what is the criteria of selection? Does every student gets to go to Barcelona, or there's some criteria that the student needs to fulfill?
No, that's a mandatory course. Just like DOCC,
Right.
the whole batch should go and attend one month of foreign education. That's the concept here. Everyone should get that exposure.
Right. So also you just talk about the GMP program where 6 months you have mandatorily attend the SP Jain Mumbai and the 6 months outside, right? So other B schools also offer something like this only, and they're expected that they should find internships on their own while they're outside away from India, right? So is it the same thing for SP Jain also?
Actually, I don't have a clear understanding about this, but what I have heard from the people that I've interacted with the past GMP batch, yes, in terms of internship, you actually seek for internship once you reach the actual location. So it's not like you are doing internship here. Here, the course will be focusing on the academic perspective. And once you decide upon your country of choice, maybe it's Europe or US, then the internship process starts. So like every other foreign university, which will be almost the same, like you have to find your own company. But I think there are some assistance offered from SPJIMR as well as the partner school in achieving that. But apart from that, I don't have a clear understanding of this particular thing.
Because even in the past with some of the colleges that we have interacted, there's this thing that it is very, very difficult to find internships outside. Like they have to really attempt and send their CVs to around 300 to 400 companies. Even after that, they're getting rejected. So my point is still that whether a student should opt for this kind of program or not.
It's actually like I also get a lot of inquiries regarding this. It's what I would tell them is totally your opinion. So if you want a premier brand, Indian B school brand on your CV, and also you have to explore an international business perspective, then this is the right choice of program, because you are getting a SPJIMR degree as well as a foreign B school. But having said that, it's evident that if you're going to a foreign B school, nobody, even Harvard Business School, doesn't assist you in getting your internship.
Right.
So it's your part, if you are going for a global program, that you have to find your internship and your placements. So that's the risk you have to take. That's what every B school does. But again, the B school will try to give you the maximum exposure that they have. But after that, it's totally on your call. It's the call that you have to make.
Right. So Gokul, let's finally talk about the SP Jain, the online program that SP Jain offers, right? So is it worth it?
Actually, I don't have a clear idea, because the online PGDM program has been just announced a week back.
Okay.
So the culture that SPJIMR has is that even if they are announcing a new program, even the dean is so open. Even I can go and approach the dean anytime, and we can have a chat. We have that kind of a rapport. That's same with all of the faculty, and they do have that practice. Whatever they do in the campus, they will address the students about that. So maybe in the coming future, they will also give us an understanding about this. But as far as now, we don't have any idea about how the online program will be. But before that also, they have been doing some courses with, I think, some other online edtech platforms as well. So that has been going well. Especially this will, help a lot of people who are actually working now, who can't spend a lot of time during, the working hours, and can spend a time on weekends or something. For them, it will be like you have to get that knowledge from an SPJIMR faculty to get a SPJIMR branding. So in that terms, I think it will be a good option. But apart from that, still we are yet to have the actual information about it.
Right. So Gokul, also SP Jain, like any other B school, like every B school mentions that they have conducted 100% placements. So is it true for every B school? Whether is it true for SP Jain, or if not, then what happens to that percentage of the students who are unplaced at the end of the 2 years of MBA program?
So I honestly, I don't know about other B schools how it is. But at SPJIMR, we have a transparent system when it comes to the placement committee or the faculty who's heading that. So at SPJIMR, if any reports come out, be it the CTC or be it the placements number, it's 100% true. And I didn't even find any person who's like unplaced. So when the batch sign out, everyone will be placed.
Got it. So because this is the thing now, that the placement reports are either very skewed, or they project a very false image of the institute, but this is not something that students wants to know after they've already entered the B school, right? So this was the thing that whether it is a true top, but that's
I
okay.
think if you are getting into any top B schools, so if you are coming in the top 10, I don't think this will be much an issue, because it's that kind of exposure is already there for the B school, and it's like matter of time, like you will understand that, because once you enter the campus, you will eventually understand the whole ecosystem. And it's not like they are bluffing that this much figures have been achieved. It's not like that. It's actually a true fact.
Right. So also very recently, we heard a news about a certain B school where, because of lack of a background check for a certain company, many of the students had to suffer. So will students be safe with their decision of SP Jain when it comes to good companies and placement?
Sure. That again comes with the placement committee's strength. So here, the placement committee is really strong, and the way they work is very professional. So they will do all the background checks that there exist to ensure that we are getting placed in the right company. And yeah, honestly, like that things also happen. Even I have gone through that particular case that you mentioned.
Right.
But again, the placement committee must have tried their best, but these things do happen. But as far as now, I haven't heard anything regarding that at SPJIMR. I don't think also honestly it will happen here, because there's a lot of, even in terms of our CVs, starting from our CV verification, it's a very strict process, and they do have a lot of background checks regarding that.
Right, perfect. So before we wind up our interview, Gokul, so any final words, anything that is any one thing that is best about SP Jain, please tell us everything.
So yeah, SP Jain, like even when I was in my CAT days, when I was to choose between a lot of these schools, because even I did had other calls where I had to choose. Even though SPJIMR was one of the best calls, that stood out for me was itself the profile-based selection process, and also the diversity that the batch has. So SPJIMR in the MBA platform is different, honestly. So be it the pedagogy, so as I mentioned, we have a DOCC role internship program, we have a GFT, we have an Abhyudaya program, which I haven't mentioned. We have to mentor a student from class 6 to 12 standard. We have to mentor that particular student for 1 year. So that's a mandatory thing. So all these things, which is making us a value-based leader, is something that SPJIMR stands for, which is, I think, something unique in this particular business school ecosystem. So that was something that attracted me, because I will get to, I am dealing daily with national level badminton players, people who are coming from IITs. So it's like a mix of everything and the best of the best crowd over here. So if that is something that interests you, which was interesting for me, so that's why I took this option. And if it's something that interests you also, you are the best place you can be.
Right, perfect. So with that being said, SP Jain is one of the unique B schools in India, and for me, SP stands for special, because it is special in a way. And Gokul, with that being said, I think we should wind up our interview here only. And to all our viewers, we hope we were able to add some value to your CAT preparation as well as your direction of getting a B school. And to Gokul, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for being on the College Duniya's MBA YouTube channel.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for giving me an opportunity, to reach more crowd and have spend some time with all of you. So it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And to all the students, if you like the video, please share it with your friends and spread knowledge, and do subscribe to the College Duniya MBA YouTube channel. Thank you so much.